Welcome to our discussion on data warehousing versus data lakes for small and mid-sized enterprises, SMEs. Today we'll explore how SMEs can manage their data to unlock AI and analytics value. SMEs face a dilemma. Data volumes are exploding, data types are diversifying, and AI promises big benefits. But choosing the right data infrastructure is crucial. We'll clarify what data warehouses and data lakes are, their differences, and how to decide which fits your business needs.
A data warehouse is like an organized library. Information is cataloged and neatly placed on shelves. Only processed, clean, structured data goes in, aligned to known business questions. This makes it immediately useful for analysis. A data lake, by contrast, stores everything in its original form. Imagine a large lake fed by many rivers of data. It holds structured data, but also semi-structured and unstructured data, like text, images, logs, all together. The purpose isn't predetermined. Data can be explored and structured later as needed. For an SME, a data warehouse often makes sense as a first step if your data is mostly structured and you need reliable reports. If you're tracking sales, inventory, finances, a warehouse provides quick answers and consistency. In fact, the majority of organizations rely primarily on data warehouses for daily reporting. On the other hand, if your business is starting to collect new data types, say clickstream web data, sensor readings, or large text data sets, and you want to experiment with AI or deep analytics, a data lake might be appropriate. Data lakes shine in scenarios where you don't want to throw any data away. They enable data scientists to run machine learning on raw data to find patterns not apparent in pre-aggregated data. Importantly, it's not always a strict either-or. Many SMEs use both in stages. You might keep critical structured data in a warehouse for day-to-day decision-making, while using a lake to accumulate raw data for future AI projects. Modern lakehouse architectures even blend the two, although that's an emerging concept beyond today's scope. Data warehouses support traditional business intelligence. They work great with dashboards and reports. For example, your warehouse can feed a Power BI dashboard that updates your sales KPIs daily. Because the data is cleaned and structured, query performance is high, and results are reliable. This is mostly about past and present, analyzing historical trends and current metrics. Data lakes are the playground for data scientists and AI. Since all data is kept, even messy data, you can run machine learning algorithms to predict future outcomes or find hidden patterns. For instance, an SME could merge customer purchase history, structured, with social media comments, unstructured, in a lake to train an AI model that predicts customer churn. Having the raw data available as is means ML algorithms can extract nuanced signals that pre-modeled data might miss. The cloud has made these technologies far more accessible to SMEs. You no longer need a huge IT team to leverage them. Cloud data warehouses are provided as services. You upload your data, and the provider handles performance and scaling. E.g., BigQuery or Snowflake can automatically handle large queries, and you pay only for what you use. In fact, a cloud data warehouse is defined as a managed service optimized for scalable analytics, freeing you from maintaining physical servers. Similarly, cloud-based data lakes let you store massive data cheaply on services like Amazon S3. Tools like AWS Glue can prepare data, and AWS Athena can query data in S3 using SQL on demand. All this means even small firms can perform big data analytics or AI experiments without investing in a data center. You can rent the capability as needed. Let's talk dollars and cents. Data warehouses typically cost more to build and run than data lakes. Why? In a warehouse, you're paying for performance, fast CPUs, optimized storage, even if data volume is moderate. Sources note that storage costs per unit are higher in warehouses, plus the time IT spends prepping data adds to operational cost. Data lakes use cheaper commodity storage. You can dump a lot of data without breaking the bank. ArcherPoint, for example, notes that data lakes are much less expensive, largely because warehouses require pricier storage to deliver those speedy queries. For an SME, cost effectiveness is key. Cloud solutions have turned big upfront capital expense into a variable cost. You can start a small warehouse or lake for tens or hundreds of dollars a month and scale up only if needed. A cloud warehouse can be scaled down during off-peak or even paused, and with a data lake you pay mainly for storage unless you're actively processing data. Example: one SME opted for Snowflake Cloud Warehouse precisely because it was easy to start and really cheap for their small workloads. This pay-as-you-go model is a game changer for budget-conscious firms. Scalability. Both warehouses and lakes can handle growing data, but in different ways. Data lakes on cloud, like AWS or Azure storage, can essentially store unlimited data. You just keep adding files. Performance when analyzing that data will depend on the compute you apply, like spinning up a Spark cluster, but the storage itself isn't a bottleneck. Warehouses, especially cloud ones, let you scale up compute power or add nodes to handle more data or users. The good news is that with a few clicks, you can accommodate growth. Just watch costs, as scaling up compute will increase your bills. Maintenance. In a warehouse environment, a lot of work goes in up front. Designing schemas, ETL pipelines to clean and load data daily, etc. This makes ongoing use easier for end users, but the IT team or vendor maintains those pipelines. In a data lake, you save effort up front by ingesting everything, but you take on the burden later when you actually use the data. You might need data engineers to prep it for analysis on the fly. Without oversight, a lake can turn into a disorganized data swamp where you have tons of data, but no one knows what's what. So, investing in data cataloging and governance for a lake is essential. For example, tagging data sources, setting up metadata and search, and periodically purging or archiving irrelevant data. Security. Both warehouses and lakes can be made secure, but warehouses, being more structured, make it easier to implement fine-grained access control. You can easily say who can see the finance schema versus the HR schema, etc. In a data lake, since you might have raw logs and files, you need to use tools to set permissions at the file, folder, or table, if using a query layer level. Cloud providers provide encryption at rest and in transit for both, and allow integration with identity management. A best practice is to establish a governance policy from day one. Who can read, write data, how to monitor usage, and ensure compliance, especially if you have sensitive customer data. Define goals and requirements. Before jumping in, ask, what do we need from our data? Common pitfall for SMEs is to hear buzzwords and invest in a data lake or warehouse without a clear plan. Instead, outline your top business needs. For example, we want self-service reporting for sales and operations, or we want to predict maintenance issues from sensor data. These drive the choice of solution. A recent strategy guide for SMBs emphasizes setting clear objectives and understanding your data sources as step one. Data governance. This cannot be an afterthought. Whether it's a warehouse or lake, assign data stewardship roles. In a warehouse, this means standardizing definitions, e.g., what exactly constitutes active customer, so everyone trusts the single source of truth. In a data lake, governance is even more critical. You need to prevent it from becoming a dumping ground no one can navigate. That means cataloging data, deleting redundant, outdated files, and documenting what each dataset is. A big mistake in lake implementations is not having this framework, which leads to user frustration and underutilization. Use modern tools. SMEs don't have large IT teams to build everything from scratch, and they don't need to. There are many tools and services that can automate integration and management. For instance, instead of writing custom scripts to move data from your app databases to a warehouse, you can use an ELT service, like Hivo or Fivetran. These tools can feed data continuously with minimal coding. Similarly, for a data lake, services exist to automate data ingestion and even build analytics on top. Databricks on AWS Azure or AWS Lake Formation. By using these, an SME can implement an enterprise-grade solution with a small team. One approach for cost-conscious SMEs is a hybrid setup. Use a cloud warehouse for core structured data and open source or low-cost tools for big data processing on the side. This can optimize costs while still giving needed capabilities. Iterate and improve. Once you have something in place, treat it as a living system. Perhaps start with a data warehouse to unify key data and get immediate value. Over time, you might incorporate a data lake for new data science projects, or vice versa. Start by collecting raw data in a lake, because you know it will be valuable later. Then curate some of it into a warehouse for broad use. Monitor your system. Are users actually using the dashboards? Is the data lake producing insights, or is it growing stagnant? Use these signals to adjust your strategy. Maybe invest in training if usage is low, or re-architect if costs spike unexpectedly. Skills and partnership. Another best practice is acknowledging what your team can and cannot do. Training internal staff on the new platform ensures you get the most out of it. If your team is new to data warehousing, bringing in a consultant or using a managed service can accelerate the learning curve. For instance, one SME found that even learning basic SQL was necessary when they set up their Snowflake warehouse. But with modern tools, and even AI assistants like ChatGPT, they ramped up quickly. Don't be afraid to seek external help for the initial setup or for advanced AI use cases. It can save costly trial and error. In summary, think of a data warehouse as your go-to for operational analytics. It's reliable, fast, and business-friendly. Think of a data lake as your innovation engine. It's where you can afford to store everything and let your data scientists roam free to discover the next big insight. SMEs don't have to miss out on what large enterprises do. The tools are within reach and can scale as you grow. The key is to align the technology with your strategy. Don't build a lake because big data is trendy, or a warehouse because someone said every business needs one. Build it because it solves a problem or creates an opportunity for you. And remember, these technologies are converging. We may soon not even distinguish them clearly, with concepts like data lakehouse, etc. But for now, knowing the distinction helps you plan wisely. If you're feeling unsure about where to start, that's completely normal. This is where HiGTM comes in. We specialize in helping organizations like yours adopt AI and modern data practices in a practical, value-driven way. Whether it's setting up a lightweight cloud data warehouse to replace those unwieldy spreadsheets, or creating a data lake to kickstart your machine learning pilot project, our team has done it. We'll tailor the approach to your size and industry, getting you results quickly without breaking the bank or over-engineering. I invite you to reach out to our HiGTM consultants for a free initial consultation. We'll discuss your specific needs and outline how to smartly implement a data warehouse or data lake, or both, that position your business for AI success. Don't let your valuable data idle or remain siloed. Let's transform it into a strategic asset together. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.